Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. There is a widespread misconception among Muslim and non-Muslim alike that Islam has confined women and snatched most of their rights. So today I am going to refute this false allegation. Both men and women are asked to lower their gazes in the Quran. No one can look at those of opposite sex with desires and passion. In Islam, some of the body parts has to be covered and some are permissible to be uncovered. Which part is to be covered depends on gender of that person and gender and relation of the person in the surrounding. Male has to cover from navel to knee before any woman except his wife. Female has to cover everything except face and hand before males who are not blood related, that is non-mahram. She is allowed to uncover head, neck, arms and legs, not thighs, before a mahram. But why the extra burden on women to cover additional parts in front of non-mahram? Why are only women burdened? Let me stress the fact that men have to unconditionally control themselves. Men have been given the responsibility of work and earn livelihood for the family. He has no option to confine himself at home to prevent himself from temptation. He has to control his desires at all costs, whether women in his surrounding cover themselves or not. A willful second look on any woman except his wife is deemed visual adultery. While women can look at men except body parts between navel and knees, if there is no ill thought, men can't. Only in extreme necessity, men are allowed to look at face only. I repeat, men have to control themselves irrespective of whether women in front of them cover or not. If it is said women have been burdened to cover, I can say men too have been burdened to control. To control is much more difficult than to cover. Actually, Allah has balanced between the burden to cover on females with the burden to control on male. It would have been almost impossible for a woman to entirely wrap herself while continuing her household work before mahram. So, mahram has been given the burden to control himself while seeing arms, neck, hair and so on. For blood relatives, control is easier because he knows that marriage is always haram. Non-mahram will feel more temptation and generation of mental unrest. Passion and ill thought is far more probable for them. So, extra burden to cover additional parts on the part of female Muslim is a balancing act. Let's come to another point. Both men and women can talk to each other in necessity, but both are forbidden to freely and unnecessarily interact with each other. Men are not permitted to hear female voices like recitation and lecture unless necessitated, while women can hear male voices. Again, men have to control here. Women are not imprisoned in Islam. They are permitted to go to the mosque. Ibn Umar reported that the Prophet ﷺ said, "If the wife of any one of you asks for permission to go to the mosque, do not stop her." Narrated by Al-Bukhari. They can visit her family and mahrams and go out to ask religious questions from people of knowledge. Women are permitted to go out alone in the nearby places or their own needs. The Prophet ﷺ permitted women to go out if there is a need. He said, "It is permissible for you to go out for your needs." Narrated by Al-Bukhari. However, they should go out wearing complete hijab without makeup, adornments or perfume. They can also travel for Hajj and Umrah or for any other purpose. Traveling requires the company of a mahram. It is thus clear that Islam intends to safeguard women and their honor, not to confine them at home. Islam has no objection in their pursuing for higher education, which is a need of the hour. Women too can earn, but that's optional. If they earn, they are not obliged to spend it with their families. Men, not women, are given the responsibility to earn. In short, hijab is not about confinement. On the contrary, it frees them from evil eyes, saves them from ill thought and evil desires, and protects them from teasing and molestation. It is a loud and clear message to the society that women should be honored, not exploited.